Hi, folks. This is Mountain Man coming to you from parts unknown. I hope my voice is coming through nice and clear, and I apologize. I have uh, tried to go up with a picture show, but we have connection problems, or internet problems, or utensil problems. I even tried without uh, Rumble. And I am on StreamYard. I'm getting some kind of notifications I don't understand, but I'm trying to broadcast. And they're putting a bunch of stuff on the screen. Boy, this is aggravating. It's aggravating. But anyway, the chats are taking up about half the screen it used to. I don't know what's going on. But anyway, I'll try to make do with it. Todd, thanks for coming back. Sissy, Mark, Robin, Miss Mendersue, nice to see you. Sissy says much better. Shine Dixie, Linda Marie, Sherry's here. Andrew, Flannel Cheese, Wanda says it sounds good. Yeah, I had all my stuff prepared in my studio. Um, I have to talk off the top of my head. But anyway, Kathy's here, Mac's here. Nice to see you folks. So anyway, I don't know how many people will come back after those first two tries went flat. I'm getting notifications. So I'm getting notifications on my first two videos that say I'm going to go live now. So anyway, so with the helicopter crash, we've got people blaming Mr. T. We've got false narratives that are so childish and easily disproved. The only way I could describe it as is mass dysphoria. People are not connected with reality the way they're talking about the tariffs, the way they're blaming Trump for helicopter crashes, and I put the price of tea in Mongolia. Okay, I think I just put tea in Mongolia, but yeah, it's all Trump's fault, and it's dysphoric. I have clips that I just have to tell you what my perceptions were from the clips from Kash Patel, Pam Bondi, Tulsi Gabbard, all having to do with domestic law enforcement. Mike Davis interviewing with Laura Logan. And I wanted to play them all for you to hear that there is an undercurrent in their discussions that tell me something's coming. And we've been saying that for years, but the time is nigh. And I imagine that the sooner Mr. T gets the foreign affairs stabilized, as soon as Mr. T gets the judiciary to heal and behave itself and not think that they run the Oval Office, once those two objectives are reached, I think we're going to start seeing people answer for what they've done. And when I play that clip at the beginning, Trump, you hear him in the background saying, "This can't go on." And it ends with, "I will be your retribution." It can never happen again. So that is a very clear message that there's going to be action taken, and the story is going to be told to the entire world. And I had some other clips where CNN and a couple of other news organizations were allowing guests to present reality without constant interruptions or argumentative incursions into the conversation before they can make points. The usual tactics of the leftist media. And I believe that we're going to be seeing more of that. And I believe there's a huge portion of people on the traditional left that are just throwing their hands up saying, I can't go along with this vitriol. I can't go along with blaming Trump for every little thing. Maybe it's getting sick and tired of being sick and tired. That and common sense. Common sense is going to be, I don't know what this thing says. I've got something popped up on my screen that's distracting me. It's kind of blocking my chats. I guess they're doing, what does this say? Wait a second. New to streaming or looking to level up, check out StreamYard and get a $10 discount. I hit the button and that's what came on the screen. I have no, I don't know. If you want to check out StreamYard, hi Tuco, how you doing? I guess, but it didn't take this thing off my screen. It's still on my screen, blocking my view of the chats. So let me see if I can go to another screen so I can see the chats better without all the promotional stuff. I don't know what this is doing. It's distracting me from what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to read what you all are saying. Well, I'll tell you what. I haven't been on StreamYard in a long time. I just, I don't know. Whatever, check out StreamYard. It told me to click that button. I don't, and it puts the thing on in the chats to check out StreamYard, and then leaves this thing still in my way where I can't hardly read the chats. And the screen is not what I remember. And the I can't get to a screen where I can see the chats better, but that's all right. Anyway, Mike Davis has always been plump and plain. He said he was going to put Letitia's fat ASS, okay, in the can if she kept messing with Trump. Well, he did an interview with Laura Logan, and he said that there was a conspiracy against rights, and that if there's evidence of conspiracy against rights, that it needs to be prosecuted. Tulsi Gabbard, once again, said that they were going through JFK files and Martin Luther King files, and they were just boxes and boxes crammed down in the basement, and that they'd never been archived or filed into a format that can be uploaded. And that is what they're doing right now. And when they get things uploaded, maybe they have microfiche. Remember those days? Microfiche? Anyway, it's archaic, and I believe it's archaic on purpose. But she said at the cabinet meeting today that within 24 hours, there was going to be a big arrest. And I believe that was concerning, well, I don't want to say. Nothing about the deep state stuff, more in the line of illegal immigration or drug running or something of that nature. But she said there was going to be a big arrest within 24 hours, and Trump said, that's good. Oh, it was about the Tesla attacks. She said there was going to be a major arrest within 24 hours. And the people that she had in custody, I forget how many, three maybe separate instances. And she said that they were looking at 20 years in jail. And that she was expecting a major arrest in 24 hours. And Trump said, good, that'll put a stop to it. That'll stop it cold, I believe is what he was saying. So I think he has an idea of who this person might be getting arrested. And I don't think it's some cross-dressing, angry, bug-eyed, bloodshot-eyed lunatic that she's said, oh, within 24 hours, we're going to get this person. I think it's a big fish. I think it's somebody that was financing and promoting, promulgating hate, and they're just getting a case together. Now, I'm not going to say it's somebody like Alex LaRose or anybody that high up the ladder, but it's going to be somebody. It's going to be somebody of note. Then again, this time tomorrow, I could be talking about a cross-dressing, bug-eyed, bloodshot-eyed whack job that was doing these things for a gift card. But something tells me they're going to get somebody a little higher up the ladder. I think these things are timed. As I showed you yesterday, Trump signed an executive order concerning investigating the leaker who wrote a book about the White House called Anonymous, or he called himself Anonymous. I forget his name. Trump said his name yesterday, and that he was guilty of treason. He said it multiple times. That person, I said, was probably losing his bowels or having a wet mattress over that. Now, I've also, a couple of times in the past, said that treason, I played a video where it is described as it's the only crime that is described in the Constitution. Did you know that? Treason is the only crime that has a description in the Constitution. And I think the number of people that have been actually convicted of treason in this country is low. It's like maybe 7. I think one of them was whoever was Tokyo Rose. Tokyo Rose. She used to go on the radio and say, UGIs, you're gonna lose. You're gonna lose. Why you throw your life away? Your wife home. Your wife home with Jody. Your wife home with another man, and just doing that all night over the radio. And she got caught, and I think she got sentenced to 10 years in jail, and they commuted part of it or paroled her. I think she did maybe 5 years. That's one example. So it's not something that, as I said, I got a dispute with a streamer who, a former friend, and he was wanting to go around and string people up from light posts and trees, just because every little thing was construed in his limited brain as treason. But treason is, I'll see if I can find that clip, that video clip about treason. It's very well defined. It's very narrow. And apparently there's a large number of people who fall into that narrow path. And this young individual, Miles somebody, or I don't remember his name, that Trump was talking about yesterday. And also the one after that, he didn't use the treason term with that. My point is that yesterday you had Trump signing executive orders, ordering a formal investigation into two specific individuals for specific acts to see if there would be criminal charges filed against them. It's going down in the history books in the form of an executive order. Then today you have what I discussed with Pam Bondi, Tulsi Gabbard, Mike Davis, and whoever else I was going to discuss with. I had clips of Kash Patel. And we also have postings from Dan Bongino, all coming out in a synchronicity, with the underlying message being that people are going to get arrested at some point. So we've never heard talk like that from anyone else besides Mr. T ever. Not to this level. So it's approaching. It could be 6 months from now. It could be a year from now. It could be tomorrow. Well, we know somebody's getting arrested tomorrow, if they're not already arrested for organizing the Tesla attacks. So, well, Angela says Tokyo Rose is a patriot. Now, that depends on whose history you're reading, Angela. If you ever go into archived recordings of the things she was saying, hi, Tennessee, yeah, you wouldn't want to be a GI listening to that stuff over and over. She was pretty damn good at tearing down morale. I'll put it that way. For her to be a patriot, she's pretty damn good to act like she wasn't. And she did do 5 years in the can. Any guesses, Mr. Nasu, as to who's going to go? I don't know. Let's see. It could be somebody tied in with a college. A big name in a college. I don't know. There are so many of these Marxist radicals that are knee deep in our system. It's hard to say, but it's going to send a message. So the other thing that Trump came across was discussing on multiple occasions were colleges. All right. He brought up again how Harvard has a $60 billion endowment. Some weeks ago, I brought up the Sovereign Wealth Fund for the United Kingdom. The Sovereign Wealth Fund of the United Kingdom was around $35 billion. Harvard has almost double the sovereign wealth fund of the United Kingdom in their endowment, $60 billion. Trump signed an executive order withholding $8 billion we were supposed to give Harvard as ongoing government funds, grants, or whatever the hell they name it. He's withholding that. And he brought up this $60 billion endowment. Now, in the past, when he was talking about Agenda 47, he said one of the things that would happen, would be on the table, would be the impoundment of the endowments of some of these leftist colleges. So he's withheld funding from a number of big name colleges. I had a video I was going to play where this one character was being very abusive. I would have been concerned for my well-being. This young man handled it very well, but he was cursed. He was cornered in a very close way. And I will save that video and play it when hopefully things get better. Hi, Greg. How you doing? Students like that should have to pay a price for that kind of behavior. I had a number of clips where people were being abusive to people who were trying to interview or report on what was going on. Now, tomorrow you have a hearing, supposedly, if the government doesn't talk about this character, Khalil or whatever, that is going to get deported, had his green card. Well, the judge says, I want to hear a good reason, or you got to let him go. Can you believe that? That's tomorrow. And I believe that there's going to be there has to be some manner of showdown with these judges. I don't believe it should be where Trump outright ignores and disregards court orders. And if there's a showdown, I believe it'll be behind the scenes for the sake of the respect for the institutions. That's a good guess, Sissy. That's a good guess. Because Trump focused on Adam Schiff quite a bit. Pencil neck. How do you hold that big fat head up on something like your finger? A big fat head. And he described how Adam Schiff menaced his son, menaced his entire family. So back to these judges. Here's a guy that the State Department has designated a member of a terrorist organization, an undesirable alien, revoked his green card, and wants to ship him out. He should be gone. He should be gone, but now he's got, where's he getting all these top lawyers? We're talking top lawyers. This tidal wave of successes the Trump administration is experiencing. One of the things is these top law firms that have come to Trump with their hat in their hand. At least a half a dozen top law firms. One of the law firms has recently employed the former first man or first person, Doug Emhoff. So that shows you that right there that people in high levels of the Biden administration are cooperating with the white hats. Yeah, I'm going to use the term white hats. So he reiterated today that collectively they put in hundreds of millions of dollars. I believe the number's around 700 million. And there's another 5 or so law firms that are going to acquiesce to the Trump administration. I'm not going to just say Trump, it's the administration. Because it's either that or they're going to have to answer for playing along with these games. And I'm bringing that up because I'm tying this into who are these characters that's running to this guy's aid? Who is distorting the law, twisting the law, engaging in lawfare, painting the administration out to be acting unlawfully, where you feed these bug-eyed, bloodshot-eyed, purple-haired, wild, dysphoric maniacs. Should you have a law degree if you knowingly distort and twist the meaning of the law? No, not in my book, you shouldn't. I've been saying that for a long time. So these law firms are either going to be out of business, and certain members of the law firm are going to be carrying, I believe, from their behaviors, some pretty heavy liability. I don't know what level of liability, how much liability, whether it's civil liability or criminal liability or both. So every law firm that is signing an agreement that is very detailed, not there's a difference between complicated and detailed. Lawyers love complications. They love pettifogging. That's a term they don't like. You can't use it in a courtroom. Pettifogging. They like doing it because they get paid in chaos, either defending someone in a chaotic situation or going on the attack in a chaotic situation. It's all billable hours. But what if it goes beyond just greed or, oh boy, we can put, $10 million worth of attorney fees on this particular case? What if it's something beyond that? What if it's a philosophy that's Marxist, period, that has disdain, just like that guy with the big white afro was talking about throwing the Constitution in the trash pail. That was written by a bunch of old racist white guys, showing nothing but hatred and disdain for the foundation of law in this country. Should they have law? Should they be able to say, I'm a practicing attorney? I'm a licensed attorney in the United States of America, and I hate the Constitution? That's fundamentally wrong. No, they should not be able to practice law. I organize the gift cards for people to help people exercise their free speech. In other words, I help organize rallies and protests and riots. If that's found out, there should be, in my view, as a layman, there should be criminal liability. And I believe this is what's going to happen to whoever is going to get arrested in one of these Tesla situations. And they're going to set precedent and make a template for future action. Future action. They're starting with this guy, Trump said multiple times, committed treason. A young grandstander that was in the Oval Office. Trump barely remembers him. He got paid a lot of money to make up a bunch of hooey and put it in print. He'll crack like an egg. They'll peel him like an orange when he starts looking at what, because treason goes all the way up to the ultimate penalty. But you could spend the rest of your life in jail. You could do like Tokyo Rose and go 10 years and be paroled in 5. But chances are, a young guy like that, putting out classified information, confidential discussions in the Oval Office, he'll probably come out at best with salt and pepper look in his hair, gray hair. Maybe 10, 15, 20 years, something like that. I don't expect him to be getting the ultimate. So when you got a guy like that, he's a little fish. Use little fish to catch big fish. Talked about that before. He's going to know like-minded people. If he was getting direction, advice, if anyone was goading him or bribing him with a book deal, where they say, oh, you sold 6 million copies. Here's your check. And the reality is that 5.8 million of those books ended up in a damn landfill. Nobody bought them. They're just paying you, but they claim it's been sold. Was it Random Books? Random Books that went out of business. Which book company was it? Penguin or Random House? I'm not sure. It was a name like that. I won't say for sure. That they closed in on. They were handing out big checks for books that never sold. And I told you all about my own experience seeing a large warehouse full of the same books that sat there for a better part of a year, and then there was disposed of. They weren't paying a lot of rent. I think it was about maybe a 5,000 or 6,000 square foot part of the facility that had about 20-foot ceilings, and they were stacked up probably about 6 feet high. Boxes and boxes and boxes of books nobody would ever buy or ever read. But I'm thinking somebody got a paycheck for that book. That's how they pay their operatives off. One way. With Hunter, they used paintings. They had Hunter painting with his own spit and feces and boogers. And, that's worth millions of dollars. That's how he paid off his back child support. I'm just looking through the chats here. Oh, well, I hope she feels better. Hope she feels better. She's resting. That's good. Ha ha ha. Greg said, quick flight to international waters. He'll be singing. No, it's just the fear. Let me tell you, fear of the unknown is probably the biggest psychological tool that'll make somebody crack. Okay? The reason people spill their guts is when they're given certainty, like, okay, if I cooperate, I will do 5 years. I, have time to put my affairs in order. I have to wear an ankle bracelet till my sentencing day, and then I go away for 5 years. All right, I'll tell you everything you want to know. Leading up to that is I could be 20 years in a federal prison. And they look at you and say, well, yeah, at least that, that is what is torture. So anyway, right away when I was watching these videos of the helicopter crash, I started seeing people in the chats going, oh, thanks a lot, Trump, for all your budget cuts. And that, you don't know if they're bots. You don't know if they're people that get paid. I've heard 40 cents a chat comment. They get paid to, like, you will see the same chat over and over. Trump thinks something about eggs, the price of eggs. It's some corny joke that blames Trump for the price of eggs. And you'll see it over and over in different chat rooms. I haven't experienced that. When I first started broadcasting, I used to get a lot of that stuff. But anyway, it's part of setting the narrative. Trump's to blame for everything. The penguin thing that I had, I hope I get a good signal so I can show you all tomorrow tomorrow's what, Friday? I don't know. Maybe I'll do a special Saturday broadcast if I can't get a good signal. But anyway, they have a meme about penguins being tariffed. And it is the corniest, stupidest, long drawn out, dopey meme that's all based on a lie. I think it's McDonald Island and another island that was on the list to be tariffed. And you have people like James Carville, George Conway. Is that his first name? Conway? The one I showed the video of him crying. we gotta think of the rule of law. Let me tell you something. I was saying that these characters that are going on with their live streaming, with their videos, bashing Trump day after day after day, that they were going through a period where they were looking rough. Lawyers, okay? Stubble beards that you didn't usually see, like Glenn Kirshner. Look to me, and something Michael Cohen. I said, look like you've been on a long drunk. They're losing sleep. What are they losing sleep over? Why are you crying, Conway? I mean, if we didn't cry when Obama got reelected, you really got a problem if you're crying over who got elected president. He was choking up crying. I saved that video. I'm gonna play it again. I like watching it. A grown man. And James Carville. I didn't get a clip of his last video. I'm not going to say that you go out here and whatever, drag people through the streets, or he didn't say that, but something similar to that. I'm not going to say it, but I say it. And if anybody says anything to me, I said I wasn't going to say that, with the most vitriolic garbage coming out of his mouth. And somebody like Carville can't cry. Okay, he's a dried up lizard. He needs moisture, for the basic functions of a dried up old body. He can't afford to cry. But he can be angry and choked up and look at the ceiling and shake his head and lose sleep. And that's what he's doing. And it's glorious. So who's the next one going to break down? I've seen Adam Schiff, where I thought he would start crying. And I believe he's going to be crying. You don't have the President of the United States publicly call you a scumbag, and for all intents and purposes, make fun of your physical appearance, bring up the fact that you destroyed familial harmony, threatening his son. You think he's not going to pay for that? Do you think you're not going to pay for that, Adam? And I saw somebody mention 17. Adam was a 7.5 million worth it, Adam? If I saw him on the street, before it gets to the point where he won't be able to walk down the street, I wonder what his reaction would be. If anyone were to say to him, was the 7.5 million worth it? There'd be another bedwetter. I know people bring up the Standard Hotel and something he was tangled up in that was similar to the Joe Scarborough matter. Somebody expired. I don't know. I don't know what will come of that. But I know some will come of the 7.5 million. Because you can track money. I'm just looking through the chats. See if we had any more guesses about who's going to get nailed within, I guess, 18 hours now from when Pam Mondi said it, maybe 16 hours. Yeah, Ed Buck. Yeah, that's a similar thing with Ed Buck. Happened with Adam Schiff. So anyway, we're seeing a lot of people sweating bullets. That's the old thing we used to say. I had some stuff I was going to post in my picture show that I could just read to you, random stuff. Like Jack Posobiec put up, China escalates war on Christianity, will ban foreign missionaries from spreading the gospel. Chinese state media has tried to justify the latest crackdown by saying it is necessary to, quote, prevent threats to national political security. Oh, there's not just national security, there's national political security. I've got a video that I was going to play that says, just let the Democrats show who they are. Just let them show who they are. And it is a montage of clips of Democrats acting crazy. And I'm proud to say that many of the clips I showed you all. Ha ha ha. So I picked good clips, but I'll tell you this, I always enjoy when I do a broadcast, it's kind of addictive to do the picture shows because I'll show you all videos. It'll be 10 o'clock at night, 11 o'clock at night, Washington time. And the next day or even 2 days go by and you'll see these big channels doing it, showing the same clips. And I've already showed them. So, yeah, I know, pat on the back is 16 inches away from a kick in the pants. I know that. But what I might do, I might experiment with this situation here with a speaker I've got that I can set this device on and see if it plays loud enough where you all can hear it. Because some videos, all you got to do is hear the sound. Hear the sound, or I could pay, I give StreamYard something like $300, and I got to figure out their puzzle of how to manipulate everything to show it. And you see little tiny screen of a video. I don't like that. But here's an interesting post from Mr. T. How do you all think this post will play in what we're talking about, impending trouble for people? Exclusive. New York Attorney General Letitia James declares Virginia home her, quote, principal residence, unquote. Mr. T posted this article without comment today. New York Attorney General Letitia James signed legal document declaring Virginia property her principal residence weeks before Trump fraud trial. Mortgage fraud? Is that what your all's memory is pulling out of this little puzzle? That puzzle piece that Mr. T put up? When they said he was a 34-time felon for writing a number on a line 34 times, each time he wrote the number on, or his bookkeeper wrote the number on what they say the wrong line, the same number, or the same source for the number in the wrong line. Oh, every check they signed was a felony. And she says, oh, she's still got the home television shows. She went to buy it and said, or refinance it, is my presumption. I'm presuming. I never use the word assume. What I'm presuming is that she signed a home equity loan or refinancing, or maybe even a to satisfy a purchase contract and buy a property. I don't know. But it was a legal document where she misrepresented it as her primary home in Virginia while she's the Attorney General in New York. And a week away, or 2 weeks, whatever, from prosecuting former president of the United States, soon to be president Think she's going to get away with that? I don't think so. I had another video of Bernie Sanders. Bernie Sanders getting up and walking out of an interview, just getting huffy puffy and walking out of an interview. Why did he walk out of an interview? I love these emotional cracks, that just show up. Just boom. They got their facade on, and then all of a sudden they crack. Okay, that's enough. I'm leaving. And a reporter said, well, wait a minute. I still got quit. I told you, don't play games. You're playing games. I just asked you if you thought AOC would be good in the Senate. You want to talk nonsense? Well, I'm not talking nonsense with you. And he walks out of the interview. Wait a minute. I thought you guys liked AOC. She represents your party. Apparently not. Apparently not. Diamond Silk put up new. Schumer trails by 19 points in potential primary matchup. Who's Schumer's primary opponent? He's down by 19 points. Could it be AOC? It doesn't say. It says Chuck Schumer, Democrat in New York, might be the Senate's top Democrat, but a new poll suggests his grip on power is slipping fast. Oh, a survey conducted by Data for Progress, anytime they say progress, that's commie, shows Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez leading Chuck Schumer by 19 points. Leading Chuck Schumer by 19 points. What do you think of that, Bernie? Do you feel the burn, Bernie? Why don't you like occasional cortex? She's a commie, isn't that great? So the face of the party is forming, and it's hideous. Hideous. People are going to be repulsed. March Consumer Price Index report shows a large slowdown in inflation. Trump brought up during his cabinet meeting that inflation is down, oil is down, groceries are down. You wouldn't know it talking to these bug-eyed, bloodshot-eyed, spittle flying out of their yap lunatics that blame Trump for everything. You wouldn't know that the prices are down. I wish I could show you that video of the penguins, the meme that the Democrats think is funny. The reason Trump put that island on a tariff list is because it's a territory of another country that is being tariffed. In the smooth-brained liberal mind, he's tariffing penguins. But anybody with a brain in their head would know that the country could just say, we shipped it from this territory you didn't have on the list, so no tariffs are due. It would be like the Danish shipping stuff from Greenland if we didn't put Greenland down, because Greenland's a territory, okay, of theirs. So they could evade the tariffs. That's the way normal people think. They recognize that. They don't go and do some 3-minute long AI video with a bunch of penguins holding machine guns and driving around in tanks to defend their fish from Donald Trump and think that's funny. But these are the same people that go on a tragic situation where 3 kids lost their lives and 3 adults. And the first thing that comes out of their mouth is that it's Donald Trump's fault. And you can say to them till you're blue in the face that the FAA doesn't have anything to do with the daily operations of private aircraft or tourist companies or, like I've said, delivery services or anything like that. They do airports that have towers. That's where the FAA is involved with the direct operations and direction of flight of craft. Otherwise, they set rules, they set maintenance schedules, they set rules for when you have to get your physical. You have to get an annual physical to make sure you're not going to go up there and drop dead while you're behind the yoke, or less chance of it. And that's it. You have to get your plane inspected. You have to have your annual servicing of your plane, semi-annual servicing of some things. They oversee your flight hours, your training, what you need to learn. But they don't hold your hand in the cockpit. But they were blaming Trump. And so many people were in the chat. And the news lady almost started crying when she found out nobody survived. People in the chats are saying, oh my God, and putting up prayer hands and praying for the family. And then you see somebody cutting in the chats blaming Trump. It's sickening. These people are becoming obnoxious and sickening. And the more they do that, the more people are going to drift away from them. Let's see, who did I miss? Well, I'm going to be up an hour this time, folks. I'm going to go ahead and clip out of here. I will be going live tomorrow night. I'm going to try with a picture show. I want to thank everybody for going to buy me a coffee. I have a link in the description. Everybody that helped out in the last 10 days or so, 2 weeks was Angela, Gary, Hilarious too, William, Pappy, Wayne, Todd, Mike, and Bev. Miss Minder Sue and Cosette, I thank you all for helping out with Buy Me a Coffee, as I'm a totally viewer-supported channel. So, sorry I couldn't do a picture show tonight, and I will try one tomorrow night. I'll play some of these videos we talked about, because something's coming. Somebody is going to get to have their rear end in a sling, as my father used to say, but he didn't say rear end. Somebody's going to have their ASS in a sling. Okay, and we're going to see a lot more tears. So you all have a great night, and thank you for spending your precious time with me. I'll be seeing you soon. This is Mountain Man, over and out.